Welcome to BBC World News. I'm NAGA MUNCHETTY. Our top stories: more than a week after Typhoon Haiyan laid waste to much of the central Philippines, the number of people killed is rising. The death toll tops 4,000. Welcome to the programme. Other stories we're keeping across for you. Hello, let's begin in the Philippines, where the latest figures show that more than 4,000 people are estimated to have been killed by Typhoon Haiyan and more than 18,000 injured. The extent of the damage across the country is becoming more clear as aid workers reach the outlying islands. Other news now, and 50 people have been killed as a passenger plane crashed while attempting to land in the Russian city of Kazan. Investigators are now looking at whether a technical failure or crew error caused the crash. Tim Allman reports. Other news now, at least 20 people have been killed after a train crashed into a minibus and other vehicles south of the Egyptian capital, Cairo. The left-wing candidate Michelle Bachelet has won the first round of voting in Chile's presidential election. However, with most of the votes counted, she has conceded that she's failed to reach an outright majority and avoid a runoff with her main rival, Evelyn Matthei. Well, let's talk to Gideon Long, who's in Santiago. Gideon, what does this mean? What happens next? Time to get to Sally to find out what's happening in the world of business. Boeing is a focus for you, Sally.
It's just received some enormous orders.
In Libya, armed militia brigades from the western city of Misrata have been given a deadline to leave Tripoli after violent clashes over the weekend. More than 43 people were killed when the Misratan militiamen opened fire on protesters who were trying to evict them from the capital. Syrian opposition groups say that a powerful bomb attack has killed more than 30 soldiers at an army base near the capital of Damascus. Do stay with us on BBC News. There's plenty to come. Time to take a look at some of the UK news now. To all. You're watching BBC World News. I'm Naga MUNCHETTY. Here are the latest headlines. Powerful tornadoes and thunderstorms have swept through the northern eastern United States, destroying buildings and overturning vehicles in Illinois, Indiana and Kentucky. At least 5 people have been killed. It's thought several hundred more may have been injured. The Mayor of Toronto says that he will challenge moves by the City Council to strip him of some of his powers following a drink and drugs row. Tom Ford has admitted to smoking crack cocaine while in office. On Sunday, he went to watch his hometown team in a Canadian Football League playoff game, ignoring a request by the league's commissioner to stay away. David Willis has more from Toronto. David Willis there. Let's bring you some sports news. Sebastian Vettel has become the first man to win 8 consecutive Formula One races in a single season after claiming the US Grand Prix in Austin in Texas. The career of the former world heavyweight boxing champion David Haye appears to be at an end. The British fighter has been advised by his doctor to retire after undergoing shoulder surgery. Football. Cameroon will be playing at the World Cup in Brazil after a comfortable 4-1 aggregate win over Tunisia in the playoff. After 24 years of playing top-class cricket, Sachin Tendulkar says that the aches and pains in his body told him it was time to retire. He also said that the sport he's leaving needs to clean up its reputation following match-fixing revelations. Andrew North has been speaking to the man that many Indians call the god of cricket. Sachin Tendulkar speaking to Andrew North there. Now, let's talk about NASA. It's launching a mission to Mars later, and it wants to try to find out how it turned from a warm, wet planet to a dry one. I'm talking about Mars. Now, the MAVEN spacecraft will orbit about 4,000 miles above the red planet for a year, measuring changes in its atmosphere. I wonder if anything is going to be found out. I wonder. Do let me know what you think. You can get in touch with me on Twitter. My address is @BBC NAGA. It's always good to hear your thoughts on the stories we're covering here on BBC World News. Now, it's time for the weather where you are. See you soon.